WDA Lenormand Cabaret. So I'm Tina Hardt, coming to you almost live from a Himalayan salt cave. So a huge shout out to Jax and Janice at Nature's Gifts and Organic Spa for letting me shoot in this crazy location. I also want to thank you, Tony Savory, for this invite to this summit. There's no doubt I'm here in very august company, including some of my own favorite international authors, mentors, and Lenormand icons to whom I personally owe an incredible debt of gratitude. I thank you all and love you. It's great to be here. Okay, before we begin, I do not mind telling you that this topic of Lenormand Lost and Found is one that's very near and dear to my heart. So I don't know if this happens in your household, but my secondary significator loses something, misplaces something, or can't find something with alarming regularity. Tina, where's my this? Tina, where's my that? This is a familiar refrain in our household. So, most often than not, it's in the open your eyes section, but sometimes not. Now, admittedly, I have a wonky memory too and a lot of stuff to stay on top of, but I have these highly organized systems where everything has its rightful place or station, and if it doesn't go back there, I can't find it. And if I lose it, I'm also hardwired to go batshit crazy, tearing up the entire place until I find it. I just won't rest until I solve the mystery. So in order to keep the crazy in our household to a bare minimum, I tend to do what all of us do and what we love, and that's turn to the cards to help us problem solve. Now, Lenormand is the perfect tool for this kind of investigative work and divination. If you consult your tarot deck, well, it's going to cock its head and say, I don't think this is the question you really want to ask. I think we should explore this whole Bermuda Triangle of mama drama. And if you go to your casting charms, well, they're so shiny and exciting that you're going to get so distracted that you're just not going to care where the damn thing is. So you're no further ahead. Now, author and YouTube sensation Lisa Young Sutton is fond of signing off with this signature message: now go play with your cards. And that's great advice. And why is this so important to go play with your cards? Because this is when you can take your cards off-roading and you can push their boundaries and push their limits right out of your comfort zones. And in that time period is when you're really going to learn how they express. Lenormand, like any divinatory system, is a language. And not only can it increase your fluency, but also it strengthens and deepens your bond, your connection, and your friendship with your cards. All right then, let's have some fun, shall we? Now, we all know that the Lenormand wants to be and was designed to be read in the Grand Tableau. But today we're all about the fun. So what we're going to be doing is inserting the cards into a 9-card positional box spread. And this has helped me find more than a few items. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you. Now, I'll explain the positions in the spread, and I'll take you through some real-life examples with pictures. And we'll also talk about some of the cards and how they like to present and work within this very specific context. Now, typically, the favorite go-to for this kind of a divination is a simple 3 or 5 card line. And many of you may be knocking this out of the park and, keep up the good work. But I was shooting blanks and wasting lots of time and steps, and inevitably I would be redrawing numerous of times, which you never want to do, and then cradling my head in my hands, screaming at the universe, so where the So I broadened my scope and upped the lumens. And this is the result of that. All right. With practice, the spread will become automatic, but in the beginning, we're going to try approaching this work like this. Et voila, the lost and found spread. And I'll make this available for you in a handout. Okay, so this is my recommended approach. Shuffle your cards while visualizing or concentrating on the object. Select your 9 cards randomly and place 1 card face down into each of the 9 positions while thinking or vocalizing your intention for each position. For example, this is what is known. Number 2, I'm not here, etc. Then interpret your cards one by one, no knighting, no mirroring, diagonals, or combining for a third energy. Your first pass through the cards will be a straightforward positional analysis. Okay, I digress here a bit. It's worth adding here that for this kind of short reading, I've been altering the way I shuffle. It seems to ramp up my focus. A quick aside on the shuffle, I've known a lot of poker players in my life, so I never personally riffle my cards. I'm not looking for pocket aces with nuts on the flop, so I shuffle them respectfully, like the sacred tool that they are. And for this divination, I've come to prefer a sort of loosey-goosey top shuffle that I idiotically call the peekaboo. 1 card will creep or pop up out of the pack and say peekaboo, and that's the card I'll take. If 2 or 3 get stuck together, then they'll all go back into the pack and I'll loosey-goosey until there's only one that's charged and seeking my attention. Now that's just me. There's no right or wrong. So some cards in their respective positions will be clear from the get-go. Others may take a bit of time to yield a breakthrough, or the missing link that brings everything together or increases a lexicon, your personal dictionary for this kind of work. Be patient, you'll eventually resonate with either one of the traditional core energies of the card or the card's literal meaning. And I'll show you an example of this. Now, after you've interpreted these 9 cards, if you still need to, you can revisit the spread. This time, turn your analytical focus down into a soft gaze and scry the cards for additional information. Are there charged combinations? What information is presenting to you psychically between the lines? Okay, so now what are we doing here with these 9 positions? Okay, this reading actually, it acts like a snapshot. It's a single glimpse for an item that is stationary, like an earring that's fallen under the bed. It's not going anywhere unless there are cards warning of a vacuum cleaner. If it's something that's somehow on the move, you'll need to update the object's status periodically by conducting these readings in a series. Okay, position number 1, what's known? So number 1 and number 5 object will like to tag team. Number 1 will either tell you something you already know consciously or unconsciously, or set the scene. You can also think of this position like the opening shot in a movie. For example, we zoom into a foggy harbor at midnight. These cards will set the atmosphere for the reading, the ambiance. Birds fill your head with noise and temporary chaos and clutter. So breathe and summon calm before moving forward. Ship heralds an exotic journey. Pack for a few days. Take some sunscreen. But snake speaketh with forked tongue, so eyes wide open, please, and summon awareness because it won't be straightforward. Hardt says, it's all good, dude. No matter what, it's good. Number 2, I am not here, so stop looking. Well, this is obvious, but this is actually one of my favorite positions because it rules out where you foolishly hope it is, which saves you tons of time, energy, steps, and most importantly, swear words. Number 3, how beep went missing. This position will provide a piece of the puzzle that's linked to the loss. This could reveal a mental or emotional state, a circumstance or event. Why is this important? Chances are the last person to handle an object probably has a conscious or unconscious memory that once poked and massaged might allow them to retrace their steps. It can twig key facts that will lead you to an answer. Number 4, action. If it's meant to be, this position will reveal a key action that assists in your search and recovery. This is a good time to bring this up. I've found that one of the best things about this lost and found spread is that it really will hone your skills of learning the many nuances of Lenormand cards that don't exactly land in what I like to call their happy place, or more accurately, my happy place. What does that even mean? So, for example, in this number 4 position, what action can I take? Well, I draw the rider or ship or stork. As a reader, these cards make me very happy because I'm lazy. They can be read easily against the context. I want clarity on an action, and this intention loves the intrinsically active rider, ship, or stork. I'll need to get in a car, go somewhere, near or far, or physically change locations. Easy peasy. You get it, right? But if you draw the sharp and menacing scythe, well, really? What on earth do I need to do here now? Committing murder isn't an option, so you'll need to go to the well to explore another facet of the card. Is it a warning against being too hasty? Or do you need to see the scythe as the Nike swish and just do it? Do it urgently because the window of opportunity is closing. Or you might want to see the card that's fallen in number 7, what's being overlooked, what's hidden, or what's emerging from the shadows and moving past the present time of the reading. Is it the cross, the coffin, or the clouds? Is the scythe now telling you that the act of search and recovery involves an element of personal risk? You will know. If cards don't fall in their happy place, keep carding until you've released the angel and the marble. That's the beauty of divination. Okay, number 5, object. In some way, shape, or form, this position will offer key information that's at the heart of either the object or the recovery initiative. Pay attention to the very clever and insightful and often subtle way that Lenormand has chosen to nuance and communicate this message. Number 6, here I am, the aha, hello, look no further, I'm here position. This also likes to tag team with number 7 and number 8 to help direct you to the exact location or reveal any issues with the recovery. Sometimes there are a few different parts to the equation, like if it's in a box on the bottom shelf of a cupboard. This is where these 3 positions could work in tandem to get you there. Number 7, what's being overlooked, what you don't know in this instant, or what's being hidden in plain sight. Did you pull a clover? Chances are you were already there. It's in the open your eyes section. It's like when someone you know, and I'm not mentioning any names, can't see the ketchup in the fridge because he neglected to move the milk out of the way. Number 8, what's next to me? Unless your thing is in space, something will be next to, on top of, or around your object. This will also help you rule out locations, which, like number 2, where I'm not, can really help activate the bada bing, bada boom moment. Finally, number 9, the homecoming. Number 6 wants to tell you where the X marks the spot, but number 9 really speaks to the energy, experience, timing even, effort, or likelihood around the recovery. If the object is damaged, stolen, or for some reason irretrievable, the cards in this position will let you know. No matter what any of the other positions are telling me, I do not want to see cross, coffin, scythe, or possibly mice here. Cross and coffin and number 9 are killjoys, they're hard stops, the rain on the parade. And the rest of the cards will convey why. Scythe here tells me to cut my losses because it's gone. And mice, well, let's talk about this. First and foremost, always remember that how a card communicates will always pass through a filter of your own personal experience and intentions, which is why you need to listen to Lisa Young Sutton and go play with your cards. You need to understand each other. When I see mice, they reinforce and validate the premise of loss, theft, or mess, or some physical deterioration. If, as a seasoned MODer, you've told your cards, over lunch and maybe some shopping and sparkling water, that when you show me mice here, it will be understood that the lost object returns. So you can see how setting intentions is a very important part of this investigative work. If, however, I pulled mice in the number 4 position, advising me of an action, it's like, oh crap, I might have to alter the state of something to get at the object, like removing a floorboard or removing covers off a bed. Now, let's take a quick peek at a few examples where the object was found and actually one where it wasn't. And you'll get to see exactly how the card showed me that. All right, so a little bit of backstory. I was heading on a short trip and I always like to personalize my hotel room. So I wanted to take these USB laser lights to cast on the walls and the ceiling. So the snake sets the tone here by saying something's hiding and stay tuned for a possible detour. It's also validating the lights because they're bendy. So how cool is that? Garden tells me where not to look for the lights. We had 2 properties, our primary residence here at the lake and a farmhouse that we were fixing up. And the garden always shows up for the farm because it has 2 acres of land. So now we've put it up for sale and we're clearing out the house and bringing possessions back from there to here. So garden says very clearly it's not at the farmhouse. The farm is over an hour away, just FYI. Ship says you misplaced it while transporting and reincorporating goods back into this house. I mentioned that I've organized systems in place so I know where my things are. And Fox says, fool, you put this in a very wrong place. This is important because I consciously know where the right place is. It should be in the kitchen, in its station. I immediately understood that scythe meant knives or scissors. The right place is the kitchen, where I have knives and scissors, but it's not there. Anchor says it's down low. Key tells me I have to open up something, so clearly the lights are not in plain sight, but Snake also told me that. So what's next to it? Coffin says a box, and to recover it, Tower told me that there would be a cabinet and shelves involved. I went looking for a cabinet in my office that I also knew contained my craft supplies, so for my scissors, and lo and behold, here are my snaky lights in a very stupid and lazy place, sitting on top of a box that, see, holds scissors. In this next example, this one will show you how cards repeat once they know what's expected of them. So I'm looking high and low for my small valet tray. Oh my God, I love these things. They snap together in the corners and they're portable and they make these perfect bowls for casting charms and Lenormand tiles. Anyway, I was at my desk here at the lake doing this reading. Hardt opens up the narrative by saying, stop tearing up the house. It's all good. Be happy. It's also somewhere that you love. Lady in this example, I understand as my primary significator card. That just resonated with me. And in the don't look here position, Lady says that the tray isn't where you are presently. How did I lose it? Snake makes me laugh because, well, I'll tell you that in a moment. Now, this was actually the very first time the cards began using the garden to differentiate between our 2 residences. And how did this make sense? When I first saw garden, I thought, is it outdoors? What? Here position, I draw scythe. Risk, danger, something sharp. This card was not in my happy place. And it had me confounded until I asked myself, okay, so what is a scythe literally? Well, it's a farm implement. Bingo, then it hit me that the garden indicated land. The tray was at the farmhouse. Tower as an action told me that I had to go upstairs, which is where my reading desk is at the farmhouse. And what's next to the pink tray? Man says something related to my partner that resonated with me, man as my secondary significator, and I consciously knew that Roger had just mounted this beautiful fireplace next to my desk. Mountain tells me that I wouldn't be able to find this object immediately and that there was an obstacle to surmount. And the number 9 position reveals the nature of the obstacle. Ryder tells me that Roger and I would have to drive somewhere. Now, Snake, the reason that Snake made me laugh is because sometimes I love to slink away and hide upstairs with my cards and charms, sunning myself in the warmth of the fireplace. Moving along, in this example, I won't go through all of it, but I'll share a couple of things, a little bit of backstory. We all lost a very, very good friend, love you Bongo, and our local pub held a memorial for him. They were planning a bigger, more official celebration of life at the Legion, and the pub owner, a male, was unsure where, who, what happened to the hard drive, jump key, or the source of all of Bob's tribute photos, so that he could give them to the Legion for their event. So he had no recollection whatsoever. So I checked my cards. Do you see what I see? Yep. Yikes. Coffin in the 9th means no. 9. No. Book is a good indication that effective action is premature because there are still things that are unknown at the time of the reading. And Stork says that change is afoot. Ways or crossroads hints that despite the clouds and the confusion in which the photos were clearly lost or misplaced, another option is likely to emerge. The Stork heralds this positive change, even though the coffin says that the original photos won't be recovered. The lady at the time of the reading was an unknown commodity. She didn't appear on the scene until a couple of phone calls later. And so I understood moon to mean projection and pictures. As it turned out, Lady was the event planner, and she was sent lots of new photos, which she then projected onto a large flat screen. And still no one knows what happened to the old ones. Well, we're all going to walk away from this summit with the knowledge that Lenormand never ceases to amaze and amuse and bewitch and befuddle. And I just want to thank you for hanging out with me here. And I'll also say that, hey, I'd love to hear some of your results. So go find some stuff and then email me at tina@tinahardt.ca. And I'd just love to hear all your details. So thanks again, and ciao ciao for now.